What was the goal for tonight's event? Was it just to spread awareness, or was it kind of? That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
To
the
spread
goal
awareness.
for tonight's event was definitely spreading awareness. Fentanyl it's not even just fentanyl, but all opioids and all drugs. It's a taboo, and people don't want to talk about it. And so I think that just getting people comfortable talking about it, bringing the conversations to the table, it's what's really important. And the stigma behind drugs not always being addiction, or the stigma behind an addiction, people need to be able to feel comfortable to get help.
You shared your story about your brother, and then your your friend's son, if I'm right. I know Chief Beard talked about everyone's kind of connected to this in one way or another. You both of you have had a lot more directly. Talk about just that experience and how that experience, but also how that kind of fuels creating this awareness and how and sharing how important the awareness for this is and how and prevention and stuff like
Right,
that.
absolutely. So, as I mentioned when I was talking, I wasn't comfortable being in a room when we talked about fentanyl after my brother passed away. I wasn't comfortable even being in a training about it, and because it was so heart wrenching. And had I done more or said more, or maybe I could reach more people, I may not have been having to tell the story about
Right.
who I consider my nephew, my best friend's son, and the fact that everybody has somebody in their life that has experienced this, and whether it is because they are an addict and they have gotten themselves too far gone, or because somebody is accidentally getting a hold of something. I mean, fentanyl is killing people worldwide. It is killing people. It could be a contact with fentanyl, and you can overdose. And I think that people need to they need to know that it's out there. They need to know that it's in the schools. It is in our workplaces. It's not just our county. It's not just our state. I mean, this is worldwide, and it's coming so strong. People need to just understand that if we're not talking about it, then somebody isn't talking about needing help from it. And so the more we can spread awareness, the more that maybe we're going to get somebody to just come and have a conversation with their family. I spoke at the high schools earlier this year, and I had a parent tell me when they left that they had a conversation in the car with their child that they never knew how to have that conversation before. And just hearing my story, or hearing about my brother, hearing about about Kai, they were able to open up to their kids, and they never knew how. And so if we can touch one child from every single time that we do this, one family, one parent, then we're doing our job.
You shared a kind of one of your personal stories about your son's friend
Yeah,
that
it
died from
was
it.
my son's football teammate. It was when my son played youth football. They were teammates together, and he died of not my son, but my son's friend died of an opiate overdose here in Oakley.
How tough? I mean, I know you kind of lived with that for years since now, but how tough was it was it tough to kind of share the story? Do you feel it's more important to share that story?
I feel it's important to share because I want to convey the idea that I'm not just a figurehead of the city. I'm a member of the community, and this can happen to anybody, and it happened to me. So I felt it was important to share that story.
Your thoughts on how important events like this is, not just tonight, but in general.
We can't get more. We need more, more, more. We need every community to get involved because it is an epidemic. Anything, especially in our schools. My focus is on the children because they are our future. My focus is on the parents who are sharing their drugs with the kids and giving them an addiction. What happens when those kids bring friends and the parents are okay with that? That's wrong.
Is there a way to bring that down?
Well, it's scary to think that we can't, but I think that we're facing a epidemic now that we have lost any amount of control over, and it is running away. I don't think people know exactly the true origin of fentanyl and how to track it down and trace it down. And as long as fentanyl and other illegal drugs are creating more and more users, more and more addicts, we're going to continue to chase our tail on this issue.